My sister posted on Facebook mocking my son's speech delay. My mom commented, "She should have known better than to pass on broken genes." They all laughed. But my husband didn't. He just posted this. And that made them start screaming. My sister mocked my son's speech delay on Facebook. My mother joined in. So did the rest of my family. They all laughed. But my husband didn't. It started with a post. Linda uploaded a photo of a cartoon toddler with a scrambled caption that made fun of how Daniel talks. Her exact words were, "When your nephew tries to say, banana, and it sounds like a keyboard smashing itself face with tears of joy, someone fix his settings." I stared at it in disbelief. Daniel is 5. He's smart, sweet, and kind. He just struggles to speak clearly. We've been working with therapists for over a year. He's made so much progress. And now he was the center of some public joke. Then I saw the comments. That's when the anger settled into something colder. My mom wrote, "Catherine should have known better than to pass on broken genes." Linda replied, "Well, she always was the experimental child." My dad liked it. So did my aunt, 2 cousins, and a few people I hadn't spoken to in years. The post was public. They weren't ashamed. Linda had always been the favorite. The one they bragged about. I was the one they barely tolerated. Every family gathering was a subtle reminder of where I stood. Somewhere beneath her. I kept my distance for years. But I never thought they'd go this far. I showed the post to Jeremy. He read it once, then walked away without saying a word. He stayed in the office the rest of the night. I didn't ask what he was doing. I knew that look. I knew he wasn't going to let this slide. He didn't come to bed until after midnight. I asked him if he was okay. He said, "She thought this was a joke. She's about to find out what a real one looks like." That was it. Nothing more. The next morning I woke up to chaos. Jeremy had posted something on Facebook too. A video. No caption. Just a quiet opening clip of Linda. It looked like security footage at first. Low resolution but clear enough. It was her. Standing in a hotel hallway. Kissing someone. Not her husband. The video cut to texts. Screenshots. Receipts. Bookings. A second phone number. Her full affair laid out in detail. Everything time-stamped. Jeremy had it all. He'd been sitting on this for months. She had cheated on her husband with one of his co-workers. And not once or twice. This was a long-term thing. Weekend trips, fake work events, entire timelines fabricated. Jeremy never told me because he didn't want to drag me into it. But now she dragged our son into the line of fire. So he pulled the trigger. The video had already reached over 1,000 views by the time I opened it. Shared dozens of times. Then hundreds. Comments were piling in fast. Some people were shocked. Others claimed they always knew something was off. Then came her husband's comment. "Thanks for confirming. Divorce papers coming." That comment got more likes than Linda's original post about my son. She went silent online. Deleted the post about Daniel. Disabled comments. Made her Instagram private. It was too late. The internet doesn't forget. By noon my phone was buzzing nonstop. People I hadn't spoken to in years were suddenly reaching out. Some pretending to check in, others straight up asking if the rumors were true. One message just said, "She deserved it." Jeremy had gone to work like it was any other day. Calm, focused, no regrets. I kept refreshing the video. The numbers kept climbing. 20,000 views. Then 30. Her affair was out in the open now. Her name was being dragged across group chats and local forums like a cautionary tale. And then she showed up. I was in the kitchen with Daniel when I heard the banging. 3 loud slams on the front door. I didn't even have to check to know who it was. I opened the door. There she stood, makeup smudged, hair a mess, phone in hand, shaking with rage. "You're going to take that video down. Right now." No greeting. No apology. Nothing about my son. Just rage and panic and entitlement. I didn't say a word. I stepped aside. Jeremy had told me not to argue. He said if she came, just let her talk. She stormed in like she owned the place, yelling louder now. That I was sick. That Jeremy was a psychopath. That this was defamation and slander and revenge porn. She threatened lawyers, police, even some influencer friend she claimed would expose us. I let her yell. Eventually she ran out of words and stood there breathing hard, waiting for me to break. Instead Jeremy walked in from the garage. He He looked at her, then looked at me, then said, "You made a post mocking a 5-year-old with a developmental delay. You crossed a line. Now deal with the fallout." Linda froze. It was the first time I saw fear crack through all that arrogance. She looked back at me like she couldn't believe I was letting this happen. Like I was the one who betrayed her. "Your son doesn't even know what's going on," she snapped. "This is between adults." That's when I finally spoke. "No. This is about you humiliating a child for attention. You dragged him into it. Now you get to watch what happens when you mess with a child who has people willing to fight for him." She screamed again. Something incoherent. Then Jeremy handed her a flash drive. "Here's the original footage. In case your lawyers need a copy too." She left with it still clenched in her hand, face red, swearing the whole way down the driveway. By the next morning, her husband was gone. Her ring was off. Her bank account frozen. And for the first time in years, my phone was completely silent. No calls from my mother. No texts from cousins. Not even a passive-aggressive comment. It was like I'd never existed. Good. By the end of the week, Linda had lost everything. Her husband moved out the same night the video dropped. Jeremy got a text from him 2 days later. "Tell Catherine thank you. I should have believed her a long time ago." He didn't just leave, he cut her off. Froze the accounts. Took the car. Changed the locks. Left her exactly where she left me years ago. Alone and scrambling. Her job. Gone. The company didn't want her name trending beside the word affair. Her boss emailed Jeremy thanking him for the transparency. Apparently, she'd used the company card for at least one of her weekend getaways. Her reputation, shattered. People she'd looked down on for years were now openly mocking her in the same group chats she used to control. Screenshots of her post about Daniel were now making the rounds with captions like, "And this was the woman calling someone else broken?" Even my mother, who had commented so proudly about broken genes, went suspiciously quiet. No defense. No excuses. Just silence. I saw her Facebook go dark. No new posts. Her little digital shrine to Linda vanished overnight. Funny how fast loyalty dries up when it's inconvenient. A few days later, Jeremy and I took Daniel to the park. For once, it felt peaceful. He ran around the swings, laughing in his own way, still stumbling through new words, but trying. And that's when I saw her. Linda. Sitting in her car across the street. Alone. She didn't get out. Just stared. I don't know how long she was there before we noticed her, but I didn't care. Jeremy saw her too. He looked at me and asked if I wanted to leave. I said no. Let her sit there and watch what love looks like when it isn't hollow. Let her see that my son, the one she mocked, is still surrounded by people who would burn the world down for him. That night she finally broke. She showed up at my house again, but not to scream this time. No makeup. No phone. No rage. Just desperation. "I lost everything," she said. "He won't even speak to me. I have nowhere to go. Mom won't help me." I stood in the doorway. Daniel was behind me, sitting on the couch, humming to himself. Linda looked past me at him. She didn't say anything. Not sorry. Not ashamed. Just scared. "I need help," she said. "Please." I didn't move. "You helped ruin my life," she added. "You're happy now, aren't you?" That was the last thing I needed to hear. "No," I said. "I'm free. That's the difference. You don't get to come back now just because your mask fell off." I closed the door. Fully. She didn't knock again. She stood there for a while. Then left. And just like that, the golden girl of the family, perfect, adored, untouchable, was no one. A week passed. Then no word from Linda. No word from my mother either, which was almost more surprising. Normally she'd be in full martyr mode by now, begging me to be the bigger person, or spinning some story about how Linda was just stressed. But this time nothing. It was quiet. Too quiet. Jeremy and I assumed they were regrouping, trying to figure out how to patch things up in private before resurfacing. But then we got a message. Anonymous, no name, no profile photo, just a single line. "Thought you should know. Your sister's staying in Mom's basement." At first I didn't believe it. My mother had always said her house was for guests, not strays. She treated her basement like a crime scene if anyone even touched the door handle. But the next day I drove by. Linda's car was there, parked awkwardly on the curb, curtains drawn. He was living there. Not in a guest room. Not with her feet up in some spare bedroom. In the basement. Suddenly the silence made sense. My mom wasn't playing peacekeeper, she was embarrassed. The daughter she used to parade around like royalty was now tucked away like a secret. And still, no apology. Not to me. Not to Daniel. Not a single word. That's when I decided I was done pretending. I made a post of my own. First time I'd said anything about it publicly. I didn't name names. Didn't even mention Linda. Just posted a photo of Daniel smiling at his speech therapist and wrote, "Progress takes time, but love speaks louder than hate. We'll never apologize for protecting what matters." That was it. One photo. One caption. Within hours the comments rolled in. Support. Encouragement. Even some quiet apologies from people in our family who had liked Linda's post weeks before but hadn't spoken since. I didn't need their guilt. I didn't need their words. But it confirmed what I already knew. They saw what happened. They just didn't expect us to fight back. And they definitely didn't expect us to win. Jeremy was the one who said it out loud. They treated her like a queen until she started looking like a court jester. And now she was stuck in the basement of the same house where she used to host wine nights and belittle me in front of relatives. No job. No husband. No money. And no more throne. It was almost a month before I saw her again. I was pulling into the grocery store parking lot with Daniel in the back seat, halfway through singing a song he learned in speech therapy when someone knocked on my window. It was Linda. Thinner. Tired. No makeup. Hoodie, leggings, and what looked like slippers. She didn't look like someone who used to spend 3 hours getting ready just to run errands. She looked like someone who hadn't slept. I rolled the window down halfway. She started talking before I could even say anything. Not loud. Not aggressive. Just panicked. "I don't know where else to go," she said. "Mom's losing patience. I can't find work. No one will even interview me. I'm running out of money." I didn't respond. I know what I said, what I posted, it was wrong. She kept glancing toward Daniel in the back seat like she didn't know how to look at him directly. I was just angry. I was being stupid. It wasn't about him. It was about you. That made me flinch more than I expected. Because she wasn't even pretending to lie anymore. It had never been about Daniel. It was about me. About control. About putting me back in the corner where she was comfortable seeing me. "Why are you telling me this now?" I asked. "I need a place to stay," she said. "Just for a while. Just until I get back on my feet." She said it like it was nothing. Like we were sisters playing house again. "You want to live in the home where the child you humiliated lives?" I wasn't thinking. "No. You were thinking exactly what you always think," I said. "That I'll fix it. That I'll absorb the damage while you get to keep pretending it wasn't that bad." Her eyes welled up. She tried to speak again, but I was done. "You didn't just cross a line, Linda. You buried it, danced on it, and live-streamed the whole thing." Then I drove away. She didn't follow. Later that night she texted me a photo. It was of her suitcase. On the porch of our mother's house. With a short caption. She threw me out. No apology. Just expectation. Like I'd see that and suddenly forget everything. I blocked the number. You don't get to mock a child for being different, call your sister broken, destroy your own life, and then come running back expecting shelter in the wreckage. No one made Linda cruel. She was just never told no. He'll know. After I blocked Linda's number, I thought that would be the end of it. But people like her don't go quietly. A few days later, I got a call from my mother. First time in weeks. I let it ring until voicemail. She left one, of course, long, dramatic, full of fake concern and forced guilt. Said it was cruel of me not to take Linda in. Said she was still family, and that I needed to remember how hard this has been on her. Not once did she mention Daniel. Not once did she say anything about the post, the comments, the laughter at a 5-year-old's expense. I played it on speaker while Jeremy folded laundry. We both listened in silence. When it ended, he said, "Looks like the house of cards finally collapsed." And it had. Rumors spread fast. People started piecing things together. Linda's affair, the video, her being thrown out of our mom's house, her losing her job. It was all out there now. Not just in private messages, but in whispers in grocery store aisles, Facebook neighborhood groups, even PTA meetings. He became that person. The one everyone talks about but no one helps. She tried to spin the story, of course. Claimed it was character assassination, that she was set up. that jealousy made people turn on her. But no one bought it, because the screenshots of her mocking Daniel never went away. She told the world my son was broken, that I was broken, and the world watched her crumble under the weight of her own pride. Weeks turned into months. Linda bounced between friends' couches. Tried moving in with some guy she used to date. Lasted 6 days. Tried getting back into her old job field. Blacklisted. Jeremy had posted everything with receipts. No one wanted the drama. I stayed quiet through it all. I didn't post follow-ups. I didn't gloat. I didn't try to clap back or rub it in, because I didn't need to. She did this to herself. And Daniel, he started saying full sentences, just a few words at a time, but clear and proud. One afternoon, out of nowhere, he looked up from a puzzle and said, "Mommy, I did it." And I cried, not because he was behind, but because he had come so far, more than Linda ever would. About 2 months after everything exploded, I got one last letter, handwritten, folded inside an envelope left at our front door. No stamp. No return address. Just 4 words on the back. "Please read this one." I opened it. Inside was a single page. Not even signed. But I recognized the handwriting. It said, "I didn't know how ugly I was until it turned back on me. I used to think you were small because you were quiet. But you were always the strong one. Not me. I lost everything. And I think maybe that's the only way I'd ever understand what I've done. I can't ask for forgiveness. Just don't hate me forever." I read it twice. Then I folded it back up and put it in a drawer. Not because I forgave her, but because I didn't need to hate her anymore. She took herself down. Me. I finally walked free. No more apologizing for being different. No more trying to earn love from people who used me as a punching bag. The golden child lost her crown. And the broken girl finally built her own throne.